Hello and welcome to another video for Minus Touch Toys, Games and Collectibles. And today we're looking at something that's now very old, it's very collectible and becoming harder and harder to find, especially in this mint sealed unused condition. We are looking at the 1997 release by Kenner from their Star Wars 12-inch action figure collection. And this collection was actually called the Action Collection, and it featured 12-inch action figures from the original series, or the original trilogy series of films, I should say. So from A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and The Return of the Jedi. And this particular figure we're looking at today is in scale with the 12-inch action figures, but it is actually of the Jawa. Now, the Jawa were dwarf-like creatures that lived on Tatooine. They were like scavengers, if you like. They scavenged for all sorts of different types of metal and so on, and sold things off. They'd scavenge and pinch things and then sell them to the highest bidder. And this particular figure is of a Jawa. And he is in the scale of a 12-inch figure, but he is only 6 inches tall because he was half the size of a normal person in the movie. Okay, so this is the box it comes in. And it says on the box here, try it, see back for light up eyes feature. So the eyes light up, or supposed to light up. Now, whether this is going to work or not, because it is, getting on for 30 years old, 27 years old. We'll see if the batteries are still functioning in a moment. But it says Star Wars, ages 4 and up, 27744, assortment number 27741. Batteries included, 2 A76 bottom cell batteries, button cell batteries required for replacement. Jawa, warning, choking, hazard, small parts, not for children under 3 years old. Now, if I just drop the box forward, you've got a little tag there which it hangs from. It says Star Wars Action Collection on the top there. And if I turn it to the side, there you can see an image of the Jawa with his eyes lit up there. It says Star Wars Action Collection Jawa, fully posable figure, authentically styled. And if I turn it round the other way, we've got the same again, Star Wars action figure, Jawa, fully posable figure, authentically styled. Okay, let's have a look at what we got on the back. Okay, so on the back of the box, it says again, Star Wars Action Collection. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, the adventure continues with even more exciting figures from the Star Wars trilogy, authentically styled with incredible detail. It says collect them all. And you've got R2-D2, the Jawa, which is this one, and Yoda. It says try it. Push button on back to make eyes light up. And we'll check it out in a moment. It says visit the official Star Wars website, www.starwars.com. Visit the Hasbro Toy and Games website at hasbro.com. It's got Kenner. Product and colours may vary. You got a Jawa UPC proof of purchase and the barcode, the CE labelling, and you've got the copyright information at the bottom. 1997, Lucasfilms, all rights reserved. Used under authorization. Distributed in the US by Hasbro Inc. Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Kenner is a trademark of Hasbro Inc. 1997. Hasbro Inc. all rights reserved. And it's made in China, and you've got Hasbro addresses around the world there as well. It says please retain our address for future use. Okay, that's the back of the box. What I'm going to do now, before we actually try and press that button, I'm going to actually remove the inner packaging from the box. I don't think I'm going to be able to remove the figure from the inner packaging, but I'm going to remove the internals. So see, he is still strapped onto the card, so I don't think I'm going to be able to remove him from the card. But let's get him off anyway, and let's have a good look at the figure and go from there. Okay, so I have removed the figure from the box, and that's him sitting there. Now we also have this instruction sheet that's come out. I just want to open it up and have a look and see what it says. It says Star Wars Power of the Force, Jawa, warning, ages 4 and up. So it's about the battery replacement. So it says remove belt and cloak from figure. Using Phillips head screwdriver not included. Loosen the screws on the back figure and remove battery door. Remove exhausted battery. Insert 2 fresh A76 battery cell batteries into battery compartment shown. Replace battery door and tighten screw. Replace clothes on figure. Press button on back of the figure and eyes will light up, and you got all the warning information about mixing batteries and so on. Okay, so that's a little instruction book that comes with it. Now let's just actually, I'm just going to dim the lights because I want to see how good if it actually works. So there is a button on the back there, so let's press it and see. Oh yeah, there we are. It is working after all these years. Those batteries are still functioning, and you can see the eyes light up on the Jawa. There we go. As soon as you press a button, the eyes light. Excellent. Very, very good. So he's all strapped at the back there, and it will be a bit of a bind for me to remove him. So I'm not going to remove him. Now you can see he also comes with his weapon on the back there, and I presume that goes into the end of the weapon. I'm not quite sure what that end bit is, or whether it's a communicator or something. And it looks like he's got a whip there as well. I don't quite know. I'm assuming that's a whip, but again, I can't take it off because it's all fixed to the back of the box. But let's have a zoom in on the features of the Jawa then. So there we are. So strange looking creatures of Jawa were anyway. How accurate that is, because you really don't see much of their faces in the movie. You just see the eyes lit through the cloak. So if I can find a button again, which is there. Yeah, can't find it for want of. There we go. Oops, there we go. So yeah, I mean, that's about all you see on the film is just the hood, if the hood comes any further over, and it's all dark inside, and you just see lit eyes, so you don't really see any of the facial features of the Jawa in the movie. So they probably didn't have a lot to go on when they made this figure, but he is authentically styled, so you can see he's in his robes as they wore on Tatooine. It's a little bit kinked up for some reason there. I don't know what's quite happened there. And you can see as his articulation wise, well, you got elbows, you got the arm. Again, there's no movement of the hand. Let's just zoom out a little bit now, because I want to show you the articulation. So we've got the top of the arm, we've got the elbow. You know what? No, there's no articulation on the elbow at all. It's literally is just on the, I'll just angle this camera down. It's literally just on the arm. So there's no elbow movement on either arm. It's literally is just the tops of the arms that move there. The head obviously turns from side to side. The waist, yeah, the waist will move, you can see that. And the tops of the legs will move. And again, if we look at the legs, there's no knee joints either. So no, there's no movement on the legs at all, other than the tops of the legs where they go up and down. So that is not a great deal of functionality or movement or articulation with this particular figure, which is a little bit of a disappointment, because most of the 12-inch figures had some great articulation, and they really well, the whole of the arms moved. You could position them very well. The elbows moved as well, and the hands moved on a lot of the 12-inch figures. Maybe because this one is a 6-inch figure, they didn't do it that way. But moving on to the clothing again, it is authentic clothing, nice fabric clothing of the cape that the Jawas wore, and that is removable. You can take it off, as is his holster that goes around his neck. I think there's a couple of buttons at the back that hold that into position, and you can unpop that and remove that, and then pop it back on if you want to. And then I say there's the accessories just behind him. his gun. I think that top one is a communicator, and I think the other one is a whip of some kind, but I'm not exactly sure. Maybe someone that knows will be kind enough to message us and let us know what that exactly is. Okay, so how well did these figures do back in 1997, which is 27 years ago? Well, all of the Star Wars figures done very, very well. The 12-inch figures, obviously not as well as the 4-inch figures. The 4-inch figures were the staple diet for pretty much everybody, for kids to play with and collectors. Now remember, this was a time before we had the Phantom Menace, before that had been finished and on the screens. At the time when these figures were released, we just had the original 3 Star Wars films digitally remastered and back on the cinema, and that spawned this whole series of action figures. And that Kenner originally had the license back in the 70s and 80s, and they maintained the license when the 3 films were remastered and back onto the movie. So they were producing all the merchandise, and there was an awful lot of merchandise produced again. Let's say there was ships, there was models, there was figures, there was all sorts of merchandise, because all of a sudden Star Wars became a very, very popular franchise again, especially after the announcement of the 3 films, and the production began on the Phantom Menace, which was episode 1, which is the first of the prequel trilogy. So there was loads and loads of merchandise produced. Everything sold very, very well, regardless of what it was, because we were all so hungry for Star Wars merchandise. We hadn't had much Star Wars merchandise since the early 80s, or I should say mid 80s, after the Return of the Jedi. So as far as we were all knew then, that was the end of Star Wars. Little did we know that almost 20 years on, we'll be getting a prequel trilogy. So, but it did spawn lots of merchandise, all done well. The 12-inch figures, I think the 12-inch figures actually done best from this particular series, the Action Collection, than they did from the later 12-inch figures. I think because at the time we were also desperate for Star Wars merchandise, we just bought absolutely everything that was released. And obviously after that, then people got a little bit wise. Do we need the 12-inch figures when we've got the 6-inch, the 4-inch figures? No, we don't really. So the 12-inch figures after that didn't sell so much, but these ones did. They sold very, very well. That's most of them. Some of them didn't do as well as others. So the popular characters obviously did sell a fair amount. Ones like these, the Jawa wasn't such a great popular character from the film, so the sales of these figures were not as popular as the others, which is probably the reason why they decided to make this one electronic and add the light in for the eyes. Otherwise it would just be a very, very basic figure, and of course with that added little bonus they could charge more money for the figure. So there we are. Anyway, let's move forward 27 years now till 2024, which is where we are today. Do these figures come up very often on the platforms? Well, these ones do appear semi-regularly. They come up on the platforms fairly regularly overall, really. Most of them, the eyes don't work, so if they're still sealed in the box, most of them you find that the eyes are not working. We're lucky, very lucky with this one, to find that the eyes are still working, so the batteries are still functioning on this one. Maybe there was a tab in it that had only recently been pulled out, I don't know, but we're very, very fortunate that the eyes are working very, very well in this one. A lot of ones on the platform do not, and a lot of them you can pick up a lot of these figures on the platforms without the packaging, so just loose figures, and they are fairly cheap like that, with no accessories. And a lot of the you see on the platforms are missing all the accessories in actual fact, so you don't get the weapons or the whip or these things around his back, his what are they, holsters or whatever they are. I've seen a lot of them on the internet without those, just literally the Jawa and the cape. So yeah, you can pick them up. You can also find them like this, I say, completely sealed, without being ever removed from the box. But like I say, in most cases, all the ones that I saw on the platform was are saying that they need replacement batteries, the eyes don't work. So it's all very well as long as the batteries haven't leaked inside the figure, because if they have, then there's a good chance that the lights in the figure will not work at all. So yes, they do appear on the platforms occasionally, or semi-regularly, as I should say, but finding them like this, which we know is fully working and complete and still attached to the backing card, and has never been out of the box until I removed it to shoot this video. We have a couple of these which are currently available on the Midas Touch website. Incidentally, on the website we do have a lot of products that are not on any of the platforms, and that is quite simply because of all the copyright restrictions these days on many of the platforms, certainly on Amazon, in some cases on eBay, where you can't say certain words. So or if you're using a image of the item and it's copyright by, say, Disney, they don't allow you to list it. So we do have a lot of merchandise that is fully licensed, or was fully licensed products, but obviously because it's vintage now, they remove them from their catalogue, and once removed, you cannot reactivate them without creating a new listing. And when you do that, you're then facing all these copyright restrictions. So we do have a lot of merchandise from Star Wars that is not able to be shown on any of the platforms. But that is, although that merchandise is available, as are these figures, on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to very simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website, where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage Star Wars items, and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody. I'm absolutely positive that there's something here for you, and I'm sure it's something that you're not going to want to miss. So literally have thousands and thousands of new products which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. If there's something in particular you're looking for, something old you've never been able to find, something quirky you might want to buy for a friend, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know, the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Or message us, because we may even have the item in stock, but it's not appearing on the website or the platforms as yet. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this very old figure with me. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again next video. So bye for now.